when you try to summarize Crazy Mountain Ranch, this whole experience, property, the sum total of what it is, how do you try to describe it?
Oh, that's a pretty tall order, you know, Matt. I mean, just look behind me, look beside me. It's I don't know in this view if you're even getting the mountains, but it's the town alone is pretty much indescribable, and it truly is difficult to describe. And I have tried to do that with friends and other people, and I fumble just like I'm fumbling now, and I generally just come up with, you just need to go there and see it. Sam Byrne and the folks here at Crazy Mountain Ranch, they didn't dictate where the clubhouse was going to be, but as we started to think about where the holes might be, they came back and said, this is where, if it works, we would like to see the clubhouse. At that time, we hadn't numbered any holes. We were just thinking about a potential routing. So when we went up there, and you're standing and you go, okay, this hole, whether it's number one or whatever it is, but if it's number one, this is a pretty good starting way. This is a pretty darn good way to start your day. A downhill tee shot over the rolling, you know, terrain that's here, and the natural sagebrush and native grasses, and seeing the mountains in the distance, and it just laid on the ground so comfortably, just the way it was, with very, very little alteration. And yet we felt like that hole, both with the vistas, both with the terrain, with the vegetation, and the way the hole laid comfortably on the ground, we thought, this is a very nice welcome to Crazy Mountain Ranch. I think when you see it, I think anyone who actually will see, you know, that hole will know it's in Montana. You walk immediately off that green, literally almost no further than me to you, and you're on the second tee, which continues the downward trend to the golf course, not precipitously, but downward with a par three that's, you know, it's in excess of 200 yards from the back tees, but it's downhill with the ground helping you, and it carries your eye downward, but also toward the mountains. And we just felt like this is another really neat hole, comfortable, will play much shorter than its yardage, and give the average player, it's quite forgiving for the average player. And it was just, those two holes combined, we thought, this is really pretty special. But in this case of the 5-hole loop, the 16th tee is there with number 3 tee as well. And it goes perpendicular off the line that you've been on the 1 and 2, and goes down toward the lake that's here at the end of town. And it was, again, Matt, it was just a hole. I just remember walking out there and looking at it. So, well, obviously we can go this way for this, what ended up being number 3. And I'm looking over there and going, well, we could go over this way. And you start walking down there, and it's another just really natural, comfortable hole, playing over a kind of a sizable hill, and then sweeping downward toward the lake. And I just go, okay, this works. It's another par 4 that's, you know, depending on which tee you play, it could be a lengthy 4, or for most players, it's going to be more of a medium type. But a beautiful hole, sweeping down the hill, the lake in the background, the green with sort of, as Mike Kaiser would say, an infinity type green. The green appears to be literally right on the edge of the lake. It's not. There's a bit of room behind. And then you get to 17, and you're coming back, and it's a short par 4. It's 330 yards at the most from the very back tee, but it goes over the lake, up over a big rumbling hill, that somewhat reminiscent of something you might see on the old Charlie McDonald, CB McDonald course, where your tee shot goes up over a big hill. If you play around the hill, you can see where you're going. The ideal line is over the hill, where you probably won't see where the ball ends up. And then the green is tucked up the hill a little further on the left. It's just one of these quirky, unusual holes. That's the way the landform was. We were very fortunate. I remember looking at that. Ben and I started looking at it. This is old world here. This is old school stuff. Will Sam be accepting of this? You know, because a lot of people could have looked at that and go, really? You're thinking that you're going to build a hole there? I don't see it. I can't understand it. And he came out and just looked at it and said, go for it, man. Just go, or just make it look like it belongs here. And then that's followed by number 18, which is a very short par 5, but it works its way up the hill, sloping fairway right to left. Beautiful backdrop, the mountains in the backdrop and all that. But it is a hole that works up and left. And as it turned out, when we first saw it, it was just a big slope out there. Keith Rebb and Jimbo and the guys who are here, we were looking for some decent type material to build base, not topsoil, but base material. And they hit some really good stuff right there. So the more we talked about it, I said, well, just dig it out. We'll make something out of it. They kept taking it out, taking it out, taking it out. Pretty soon, there's a hell of a quarry right there. I mean, you don't want to go down in there. And in the process of excavating it, made a pretty serious feature on the golf course. So the tee shots goes over or skirts around it, then again, the landforms just sort of roll and twist and turn until you get to a green set below the clubhouse, right back near where you began. The 5-hole loop, I think, certainly is an introduction to golf at Crazy Mountain Ranch, but I think it will be sort of a teaser for what's yet to come. And I don't think you're going to be disappointed.